Okay, so I don't quite know what I'm going to call this, besides I'm basically making or hopefully going to be a dagger that has kind of a rapier style handle. Basically, I have this it's a chunk of leaf spring I cut lengthwise. That was a pain. And I'm just going to hammer into a pretty basic double-edged blade. And of course the handle is going to be kind of all over the place. It's sort of like an old parrying dagger, but most of those are very simplistic, and I still want the rapier handle. So that's what I'm going to do. But again, for starters, just a piece of spring steel. And yeah. It's going to go from there. So now that we have the rough grinding done, or not rough grinding, rough forging done, I'm about ready to start rough grinding. I'm going to, well, as I just said, start rough grinding. This is going to be a little different than what I've been doing for the past several months, where a lot of my stuff is a lot more rough or kind of smaller and doesn't really matter too much. Since this is a little longer, still not more than like a dagger, but, you know, longer than I've been doing, I want this whole thing to be even, since, you know, rapiers are supposed to be fancier. I don't want it to look like something, you know, dragged out of the Apocalypse or Dark Souls. Kind of the same thing. But I'm going to take my angle grinder, straighten up all the edges, put my bevels on, or start them anyway, and then take a belt sander and clean everything up. So for my handle, I'm just going to use a piece of mild steel, or not my handle, sorry. For my guard, I'm going to use this piece of mild steel. This is 1/2 inch round, just something I had lying around. I'll probably use some other mild steel for the rest of it. But this is going to be my cross guard. I'm going to hammer the shape, probably either hot cut a hole through it or drill one out. Probably hot cut because I'm lazy. And I'll have that fit onto the tang. And then of course, this will just be like the straight one. I'll have another piece welded on underneath that hooks around. And just probably a few other bits and pieces, because if you've seen rapier handles, they are a little over the top, because, you know, they're more of a status symbol than an actual battlefield weapon. So usually if you were carrying a rapier, you could afford a little more extravagant handles. And since I'm making this myself, you know, I can do whatever the hell I want. So anyway, mild steel, hammer at the shape, weld stuff on. Let's go. Okay, so I have a few of the pieces basically made, or rough forged, I mean. I have my main guard, my front guard. I'm gonna round all of these out once I have everything welded, but I have these two side pieces that'll go on there. Oh, hey, it actually balanced. And then I'm also gonna see about taking other ones of these rods and then having it fold in and then come down onto this guard here. I probably won't film forging that, and I also will not film welding this because I don't know, but with welding, the lighting stuff, I don't want to ruin my camera because I don't have the money to buy a new one. So I'm going to go ahead and weld these together and then forge this piece here. And I might also forge another piece that goes on here and just kind of goes up, because some rapiers have that. Basically, you know, with these, I just looked up some pictures and just kind of started doing whatever I wanted. There's so many different designs that just let your imagination go wild and go with what works, I guess. I'm also gonna make a pommel for it. That's not gonna be fun, I hate doing that. So for the pommel, I just have the head of a bolt here. I'm going to grind it and shape it so it doesn't look like a bolt. I couldn't think of anything to really do, and I didn't want to do a generic teardrop, so bolt it is. Basically what I'm going to do is drill a hole through the center of it. I have to file and grind it to where it fits onto the tang, which I've kind of rounded out a bit, so that way it fits through a hole easier. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna go to the drill press, drill a hole through this, and then probably start grinding it to shape. So for my handle, I just have this scrap piece of hickory. Yeah, it's just scrap. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill a hole down the center of it and then take the tang of my knife, heat it up in the forge till it's glowing, and then burn it to shape. I find that's the quickest and most effective way to make these fit. Otherwise, you're here trying to file and sand and stuff. It's just a real pain. So I'm just gonna burn it in and then probably take a rasp and a belt sander and make it fit my hand comfortably. Okay, so now that we have all of our pieces made and cleaned up, I went ahead and heat cycled both my pommel and my guard just to kind of give it a little more, less shiny, or still shiny, but not, you know, that ground shape. Basically going to put some E6000 epoxy, which I like to use on these particular tangs. My handle, if I can hold it, I got sanded to shape. I will be staining it once I'm done, but yeah, we might have to sand some glue and epoxy off of it, so I want to do that after it's already assembled. And then once everything's done, kind of polish out my blade. You don't really want to do that before everything's assembled because I've had my hand slip and cut open on blades before. So I generally like to polish everything out and sharpen it after it's already assembled.